You know those people, right? The ones who just seem to glide through life. It's like they're not necessarily smarter or working harder than anyone else, but things just work out for them. They get ahead, they seem happier, and they make it all look completely effortless.
So, what's going on there? It's a super frustrating question, I know. It can honestly feel like you're playing the game of life on the hardest difficulty setting, while they've somehow found a secret shortcut.
So what is their secret? Is it just dumb luck? Are they just naturally smarter? Well, what if it's something else entirely? What if they've figured out the underlying rules of the game? What if they know a few simple psychological cheat codes that kind of govern how all of us think and act?
And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're sharing 8 of these super powerful techniques, keys that can help you understand not just other people, but yourself. And once you see them, trust me, your own life might start to look a little different. Ready? Let's dive in.
Okay, so for part 1, we're going to focus on the social world, all those interactions we have with other people. Let's kick things off with a really simple physical example. Just picture this. You're trying to get through a super crowded street, maybe a busy shopping mall. You're trying not to bump into anybody. What's the best way to do that?
Well, the answer is probably the last thing you'd expect. I mean, you'd think the key is to look at all the people, right? Dodge and weave? Nope, that's actually the worst thing you can do.
Instead, you're supposed to look where you're going. Focus your eyes on your destination, that little gap in the crowd, the doorway across the room. And it's wild. Something almost magical happens. People just unconsciously move out of your path. And of course, this is a metaphor for life, isn't it? If you're always focused on what other people are doing, you lose track of your own path. But when you look forward, when you know where you're going, the world just seems to make room for you.
Okay, cheat code number 2. How do you get someone to like you? Now, our first instinct is usually to do things for them, right? Buy them a coffee, do them a favor. But what if I told you the real psychological hack is the complete opposite?
Yep, that's right. To make people like you, ask them for a small favor. I know, it sounds totally backward, but there's some really powerful psychology going on here.
It's called the favor principle, or sometimes the Ben Franklin effect. See, when someone does you a small favor, their brain has to justify it. It goes, why did I just do that? Well, I must like this person. It makes them feel useful and valuable to you, and that creates a genuine connection. So remember this, asking for a little help isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a brilliant tool for building relationships.
All right, let's talk about a social hack that's completely silent. You don't have to say a single word. How do you show someone you appreciate them, that you're impressed, and get them to open up even more?
Okay, this is going to sound a little odd at first, but stick with me. First, you look at the person with genuine curiosity. Really look at them. Step 2, open your mouth just slightly, like a centimeter. I know, weird, but this simple nonverbal cue signals amazement and appreciation. It's like a silent wow that encourages them to keep talking. Imagine your friend is showing you their new apartment that they're super proud of. You do this, and you're non-verbally saying, "This is amazing, tell me everything." It's a quiet form of praise that people absolutely respond to.
Oh man, the chronic procrastinator. We all know one. Heck, maybe you are one. That person who just can't seem to start anything until the absolute last minute. So how do you get them to move?
Well, there's this fascinating psychological principle called action reversal. And here's the core idea. People are often way more motivated to correct a mistake than they are to start something from a blank slate. That instinct to fix something that's broken, it's powerful. So how do you use this? Simple. Give them a really bad first draft to review. Instead of saying, "Hey, can you write this report?" you hand them a sloppy, terrible version and say, can you just take a quick look at this for me? The source material gives a great example of this. Someone did this with a coworker, and 10 minutes later, the whole thing was rewritten and fixed. Why? Because the procrastinator's instinct to fix your mistake completely overrode their instinct to procrastinate. It's genius. All right, so those are some incredible tools for mastering your social world. But for part 2, we're going to turn the lens inward. These next few cheats are all about understanding and mastering your own inner world.
So, let me ask you, when you get overwhelmed with anxiety or sadness or just emotional pain, what's your first instinct? For most of us, it's to try and escape it, right? Distract ourselves, watch TV, just wait for it to go away. But there's a much, much better way to handle it.
Instead of running from the pain, you do the opposite. You don't just feel it, you research it. You engage your brain, not just your emotions. You get curious about what's actually going on inside you, like you're a scientist studying a new phenomenon.
There's a concept for this, sometimes called naming the demon. You actually find the scientific or psychological term for what you're feeling. Is it rumination? Is it catastrophizing? The moment you define it, you're not lost in this big, scary fog of emotion anymore. You've structured the problem. And that is always, always the first step to solving it.
Okay, this next one is a real mind bender. It's a paradox that can totally change how you think about feelings like jealousy or self-pity. We usually think that feeling inferior and being a narcissist are complete opposites, right? Well, it turns out they actually come from the exact same place, an intense focus on the self. Think about it. Both the person who feels inferior and the person who feels superior are constantly thinking about themselves. When you feel jealous of someone else's success, that feeling isn't really about them. It's about you and what you feel you lack. But once you realize that, it's empowering. It stops being about them and starts being about you asking, okay, so what can I do to improve? I absolutely love this next idea. It's such a powerful little metaphor for understanding not just our own lives, but everyone else's too.
The saying goes, respect every frog in its well. And the idea is that we all have our own well, our own little world, our own perspective, our own set of goals. Some people are perfectly happy and thriving in a small pond. Other people need a giant ocean to feel alive. And true maturity isn't about trying to drag the pond frogs into the ocean. And it's definitely not about feeling bad if your world seems small to someone else. True maturity is about respecting that everyone's well is different and learning to live at your own pace in your own world.
Okay, our last cheat code is a really practical framework for mastering your emotions. It's a simple two-part rule. When it comes to negative feelings, like sadness or anxiety, your job is to analyze them with logic. Step back and ask, why am I feeling this? But when it comes to positive feelings, joy, excitement, you do the opposite. You experience them with sensation. Don't analyze them, just feel them. So simply put, analyze the bad, but fully experience the good.
So, we've covered a lot, right? Navigating crowds, getting people to like you, handling procrastinators, managing your own pain. What's the one thing that connects all of these different cheat codes?
It's one simple, powerful idea: awareness. That's it. It's about being aware of the invisible psychological forces that are constantly shaping your behavior and the behavior of everyone around you.
And look, this isn't about learning tricks to manipulate people. It's about empowerment. It's about freedom. Because once you're aware of these rules, you're no longer just a puppet of your emotions. You're not so easily influenced by the world. You get the freedom of choice. You get to decide how you're going to respond. So, these cheats, they're really just a new lens for seeing the world and seeing yourself. They pull back the curtain on the invisible mechanics of how we all operate. So now that you know some of the rules, how are you going to play the game?